The James Show Podcast.
First off, happy Election Day. Now, we have breaking news about the Cowboys. We have breaking news about food stamps. We have breaking news about 4 other things. Dick Cheney passed away, but we got to start with what's probably the most important story of the day because this is only happening today, and that is Election Day. And in Texas, we're going to be going over 17 propositions. Now, I'm not going to go read them all to you and give you the nuance here, but I can really just tell you the 3 that I'm against, and the rest of them are a yes. But we're starting off with a little bit of drama. In one of the bigger election arenas, there is some bomb threats that happened. And I don't know, was this even in New York or was this in New Jersey or was it in both? But they stuck a microphone in front of Mom Donnie, Zoltan or whatever his name is. No, that's Zatarans. Oh, no, wait, that's the rice guy. I'm kidding. It's Zorhan Mamdani. And the bomb threats, he says, are because of the terrible situation we're in because of Trump. Let's get this out of the way.
Voter intimidation. There were some issues in New Jersey this morning, North Jersey, of bomb threats with voting locations. Not here, but the level of concern that could play out here sometime.
It's incredibly concerning. Right. And I think that it is an illustration of the attacks we're seeing on our democracy. Sometimes they're blatant and explicit in the manner of these bomb threats. And we also have to know that here in New York City, I saw a young woman sharing a story of her mother who had voted for our campaign and was then harassed by another man at that poll site for doing so. And we have to understand this as part of the general approach the Trump administration has taken to trying to intimidate voters with baseless allegations of voter fraud as a means of trying to repress the voice of Americans across this country. And when we think about how best to fight Donald Trump, one way we can do so is by understanding Andrew Cuomo for what he is, the candidate endorsed by Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Stephen Miller.
All right, so that's kind of the scuttlebutt there. I don't know how Trump could even be worked into a discussion on a bomb threat that's not even in New York City. He was right. It's in New Jersey, so it wasn't crazy.
New York City!
Yeah, it's Trump's fault. That's what he wants. On turnout day that favors Republicans versus early voting that favors Democrats. That's what he would do. He would interrupt in-person voting in a jurisdiction that you're not even in, I don't know, in order to thwart you. All right, let's look at the Texas stuff. Let's dig in our own belly button for a minute because there's 17 things that we're all voting on. And it would be really boring if I went through all 17 propositions. So here is the too long, didn't read, TLDR. It's yes on everything except for 1, 4, and 14. Got it? Now, I feel really weird ever telling anyone how to vote when people ask for my vote recommendation. The reason why I feel weird pushing back is because I don't know what your values are. Your values probably aren't mine. I look at surveys, and most people do not agree with me on how things should be governed, or maybe they just hadn't been presented with that. But I always see things as, like, anytime someone puts up a bond, well, this is for the school, or this is for repairs, or this is for a new theater. Every bond to me just looks like a property tax increase. That's how I see all bonds, and that means I vote no on pretty much everything that's a bond. So that's probably not what you think. And so I do feel a little odd telling you how to vote because, hey, maybe it benefits me, but I don't need to be tricking people into voting like me. But the ones that I'm against, number 1, it would be an endowment for Texas State Technical College. There's a handful of these around the state. There's one in Marshall. There's one in Waco. I don't know where all of them are. The thing that I have against this, I like the endowment model. I like the idea of saving up a bunch of money like colleges do and you just live off the interest. But this would be $850 million of new spending, and that's just not a no. That is a hell no. The other one I'm against, a new water fund. Go ahead and read the details. Doesn't matter. I'm against that one. And then the third one that I'm against, Proposition 14. The Texas Dementia Research and Treatment or whatever, you're creating a whole new institute to do research for, no, that's not what we should be doing. The rest of these sound pretty good, though. The rest of these, there's a lot of tax exemption stuff in here. And I love the tax exemptions and also the prevention of future taxes. And some of this very obviously seems to be centered around the building that is being built catacorny from where our studios are. That's where they're building a new Goldman Sachs set up here, the Dallas offices, and that's going to be the heart of Y'all Street. And while we don't have a statewide capital gains tax, while we don't have a statewide securities tax. And by securities, stocks, bonds, equities, anything that being traded like that, funds. We don't have a statewide tax on it. We're going to go ahead and put it in the Constitution that the legislature can't pass one of those. So if they ever do want to put a capital gains tax, if they ever want to do want to put a financial securities transaction tax, this is going to take like a small percent for whenever you buy or sell a bond off of Wall Street or buy or sell a security, a stock off of Y'all Street. No. So in the future, if they ever want to do that, they have to go back and they have to pass another constitutional amendment, which means they have to put it in front of the voters, and they can't do it without our approval. I love that. Couple things that are also, hey, I thought that was already a rule. They're just codifying it even harder. Number one, voter citizenship requirement. In the voter citizenship law for the voter requirement law in Texas says you have to be at least 18, says you can't be a felon. And there was another one, but it was adding, you can't be in a mental institution. They were going to add to that you have to be a citizen. Now, the law under it already says that you have to be a citizen, but it's not in the Constitution. So if they ever want to go back and change that, they now have to go back and undo Proposition 16 through a statewide referendum. And so that puts a little bit more power in the hands of the people and away from just the legislature. They're also preventing a death tax, which I thought was in the same vein that we already don't have a statewide estate tax. I call it a death tax, but nicer people call it an estate tax. They're saying, well, we can't come up with one without going back to the Constitution. So overall, well done on the propositions that we have to vote for. Remember, yes on everything, except I want you to do a no on 1, 4, and 14. Locally, it's impossible for me to go through what's going to be on everyone's ballot for all the races that are happening here. But I can share some interesting side conversations that are being had on a more national level. And the mayor's race in New York City seems to be getting a whole lot of attention. And
New York City!
I know this doesn't really directly affect you, but boy, this is going to be crazy to watch. I don't think it's going to be as damaging as a lot of the people say it is, because Zoran Mamdani, the guy who's an avowed socialist, I mean, he's really a communist, but whatever. He is no different on policy positions than Bill de Blasio was, the guy who was mayor before the current mayor, Eric Adams. They believe the same thing. They're total socialists. They're from a super rich family. They grew up in compounds. They went to private schools. And this is the big sort of veil that diversity pulls over so many people's eyes. They like to act like, well, we're never getting representation like this before. This is something brand new. I'm just happy to see this because, we've never had representative from the Muslim, foreign-born, socialist, brown-skinned community before. And so they act like, well, this is going to be something new and different and a whole different lived experience is going to... No, it's just the same old socialism Bill de Blasio did. It's going to be the same failed policy. It doesn't matter if it comes from an old, crusty white guy or this young, handsome fella. And not that I think he's handsome, but check out how he was portrayed on Saturday Night Live. This was the opening skit on Saturday's show. Now, listen, I'm a Saturday Night Live fan. I understand if you're not, everyone says, oh, it used to be good and then it got all whatever. That just means you stopped watching it. It's still good. It's still good. And I know that they're liberals. I got it. They can't help themselves either, but you can learn a lot because they are so nice to Mamdani in this sketch that you have to start questioning yourself. Am I really on the side of the good guys? Am I really the guy on the side that's fighting the powers that be on behalf of the little guy? When my opinions match that of the big networks and the giant 12 corporations that buy almost all the advertising on the national networks? Am I the guy that agrees with the side that wants to put more power and spending and control in the hands of the politicians? Are you really a free-thinking rebel impervious to propaganda if you share the same opinions as ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, basically all TV channels except for this one exception, Fox News? Does that really make you a free-thinking individual? So check this out. They're so nice to this guy, you have to be suspicious. In the skit, there is the Andrew Cuomo character, there is the Mamdani character, and then there's Curtis Sliwa, the Republican. This is the opening statement for Mamdani.
Next, we have the Democratic nominee, Zoran Mamdani.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. And I'm ready to spend the next hour hearing my opponents pronounce my name in ways you couldn't begin to imagine. And I know some of you are out there scared of the idea of a young socialist Muslim mayor, so allow me to put you at ease by smiling after every answer in a way that physically hurts my face.
All right, now that is such weak sauce because, number one, they didn't make him ugly. They made him handsome. They didn't put any funny prosthetics or give him a wild haircut or make him dress like a goober. He's not up there eating rice with his fingers like a weirdo. He's not actually making fun of Mamdani. His joke was about how the other idiots on stage with him, the middle-aged white guy losers, are going to mispronounce his name because they're idiots and not with it. So see how overwhelmingly positive this is? You really think you're a rebel? If the networks, again, co-signed by all the big politicians and corporations, they all approve of this. To contrast that, here's how they had Curtis Sliwa's character, played by Shane Gillis, by the way. Funny guy, love him. His character. Notice how he has a New York accent, and so did Cuomo. He had like a ridiculous half Italian, half New York accent. But Mamdani, he didn't have any accent at all. He talked like a normal guy. He didn't talk like a buffoon. So here's how they introduced Curtis Sliwa, the Republican.
The Republican nominee, Curtis Sliwa. Yes. Mr. Sliwa, your opening statement.
I'm thrilled to be here and not getting shot in the back of a yellow cab 5 times by the Gottis and Gambinos as I was famously in 1992, 1993, and 94. But I'm the right choice to be your next mayor. No offense to my opponents, Mr. Cuomo, and I believe I'm saying this right, Zoltar Rob Zombie.
Yeah, he got it wrong, just like Mamdani said he would. He's an idiot. He's the dumb one. Did Mamdani mispronounce any words, make a fool out of himself, or refer to his own scandals? No? Oh, that's so weird. They asked the 3 candidates their preferred bagel order, which apparently is an important thing in New York, I guess.
What's your go-to bagel order, Mr. Mamdani?
What I'd like is for the person serving me that bagel to be paid a living wage.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. Oh, he's just so stuck on policy. That guy, he's just so intellectual, and God, it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And then at the end, when they did their final statements, of course, Andrew Cuomo said something terrible, saying, "Oh yeah, New York already hates me," and Curtis Sliwa did something completely embarrassing, talking about it. He got hung by his manhood from the Verrazano Bridge. But when it's Mamdani's turn, he gets his own camera shot, and then there's literal hearts around his head like it's a Snapchat filter, and he gives sort of this R&B sultry seduction to the voters.
All right, Mr. Mamdani, your message to undecided voters?
My message is this. Hey girl, I know you got a little white guilt for gentrifying that Spanish neighborhood, don't you? Why don't you vote for me? You feel a little less bad about that chicken and rice shop getting turned into a sweet green. So why don't you hit me up at the ballot box, girl?
Was that funny?
You were warned that this is not the forum for your TikTokery.
Yes, your TikTokery, because you're so hip and with it. You're catching everybody off guard because you're so smooth and cute and fun. That's ridiculous. If you ever see the powers that be, if you ever see a media platform that is backed by the giant corporations that are supposed to be all evil and just all they want is profit and all they do is exploit minorities and stuff, how can you hold that worldview and then see your opinion being pushed by all these people that you swear are trying to destroy the world, and you're still the good guy?
The James Show Podcast.